We're the prize fighters.
We're the prize fighters.
We're the prize fighters.
We're the prize fighters. We're the prize fighters.
I'm Tony, I play trombone.
I'm Matt, I play guitar.
Jordan on the bass guitar.
Courtney, saxophone.
Eric, I play drums.
Aaron, I play guitar and I sing. So we're the Prize Fighters. We started in 2006 here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. There was a fledgling ska scene, but there were no bands that were playing 1960s style ska and Rocksteady, early reggae kind of sound. So that was the goal of starting the band, was to be a local group that did that, and we were inspired by a lot of bands that would come through town, like Westbound Train, Debonaires, when Skylights would come through. So we were into that. We knew that there was a scene doing that kind of thing, and that had been something that started to talk to people and realize like, hey, we actually want to do this. So the band came together, and we've been doing that ever since, trying to work on our sound and learn more about 60s Jamaican music and what makes it work, what makes it good, how to play it properly, and what not to do. The first album came out in 2010, that was Follow My Sound. Then we did a special edition LP a year later that had some different material on there. Then what was it, 2013, then we did our single, the musical knockout of 3 rounds, so 3 45s in 2013. Then 2014 we did 3 singles with Charlie Ordinaire, and then did that put all those songs on a tour CD when we went to Europe in 2014, 2015. Then 2019 we put out our LP Firewalk on Jump Up Records, and here in 2023 we are about to release our 3rd studio LP called Punch Up. 12 new songs from the Prize Fighters. Okay, so describing the sound of the Prize Fighters and like our take on 60s Jamaican music, so ska, rocksteady, early reggae. We all listen to a lot of that stuff. Like, you listen to it, you absorb it, and it kind of becomes your foundation for how you approach songwriting. So even simple things like, we want the song to be about like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes tops. For no other reason than that's the music we listen to is like that. So it's
got to fit on that 45, right?
Yeah.
The nature of Jamaican music in the 1960s, singers would sing over tracks that were maybe already recorded, and it was a studio band that played a lot of the music for many different singers, and it was more of a single-based music industry. And you'd really get into, to talk about Jamaican music and the style of music that we play, sometimes you need to name specific artists. This bassist that played for this studio for these years. So it's not as easy as saying our influences are Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd. It's a little more obscure, and it takes a lot of digging, and sometimes I don't even know the artist that is influencing me. But Lynn Tate, definitely, big artist that influences my playing.
The Skylights, Don Drummond, any of those horn arrangements, those drive a lot of our horn sound.
Looking at the Skylights catalog, you realize how many of those songs are covers that they do. So a lot of them come from Cuba. A lot of them are from like American jazz standards. Some of them are from all over the place. I mean, they covered a lot of like blues stuff,
blues,
Hollywood
songs,
films,
pop
soundtracks,
pop stuff. And even some of Bob Marley's early ska stuff, he was taking some lyrics from like the Ink Spots or the Crew Cuts or some of those like doo-wop bands. So, and it's interesting. The more we've dug into music, the more we've played in this band, we realize just like how diverse and how deep things go as far as how did Jamaican music in the 60s, how did it really come into its own, how did it come about? And it's not just Jamaica. Like, it has so much to do with all the records that were popular in Jamaica, in the sound systems, and all the different like the different artists that were touring throughout the whole Caribbean. So there's a whole mix of styles that were being played and that were popular, that weren't just ska, rocksteady, and like reggae in that time. So you listen to a song and you pick out a melody and it's like, oh yeah, that wasn't written by Rolando Alfonso. He was just taking that theme from some other piece and putting it in, but making it work. You know, talking about the scene here, you know, we're the only band in town that plays the kind of music that we do. There's other ska and reggae bands, but they don't play like the 60s stuff that we do. But even, you know, before we started the band, you know, we were in all sorts of other bands, like a lot of, you know, punk bands and like third wave ska bands, rock bands. So we have a wide taste in the music that we like to play and like to listen to. But with the Prizefighters, we're all able to put it together into a pretty, like, a solid focused thing. We know how we want it to sound. We want it to sound like the 60s Jamaican kind of thing. But as far as our influences, we can put a lot of different influences in there, as long as we know how to make it work and like know what doesn't work. It can still fit into the sound. But then, like, we're gonna sound like the Prizefighters. We're not gonna sound like the Skylights, even though we might want to, like, go for it. But our eclectic and diverse backgrounds and experiences have shaped the band that we have become today.
And we're all fans of music, and our influences change and grow, and our music will change and grow as well.
And we keep digging into new styles of music, and it's cool to think about, you know, you were talking about putting some cumbia lines into some new songs, which isn't related to Jamaica, but it's another Caribbean form of music that started around the same time as the music that we're into. So will it work? Well, you know, that's the fun part about playing in this band, is we can try all these things and keep what works, and if it doesn't work, then, you know, on to the next thing. So Kick the Can is the first single off of the new Punch Up album, and that song was inspired by just the growing sense of frustration around general inaction around not just climate change, but that was sort of the theme that we zeroed in on for this one, because there's a lot of climate activism going on right now, and we keep hearing about these half measures and these things that are, you know, being put forth as sort of compromise measures, and then, like, our stupid country pulled out of the Kyoto Protocol and Paris Climate Accord, and it's just it's frustrating listening to scientists and other people talking about what may happen and things that are happening, all these signs that are happening around the world, and we're treating it like it's a debatable sort of thing. And if it is debatable, then the side that is pushing to take action on things needs to be louder and heard more. So the song is sort of a reflection of our belief that voice should be louder. So we're doing our part to put that into the conversation, into the segment. I'm not trying to change anything with it, but it's at least for the people who do believe in continuing to fight the climate crisis. The Prizefighters are offering our voice along with theirs. Hopefully that makes them feel not as alone in their fight and their struggle. You know, there's people who don't care. If you're one of them, you can still dance to the song and it'll be fine.
For now.
Yeah, it'll be fine for now.
The planet.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, oceans are gonna boil in 400 years. Whatever, it'll be dead.
That'll be no quarrel.
I will say though that the song is a banger. It's very danceable. It's one of our more danceable tunes, and on Firewalk we only had ska and Rocksteady songs, and this is sort of a bubbly reggae song that we really haven't put out, at least not in a long time. So This is an exciting return to reggae for us.
Yeah, and it's an upbeat song, so it's kind of going that tradition where you can have a happy sounding song, but the lyrics are a little bit bleak, and maybe helps you feel better about a situation rather than just pure doom and gloom. That has its place, but we like to make people dance as well. On behalf of the Prizefighters, thanks for tuning into the Manda Carallo show, and hope you enjoy our new single, Kick the Can. For all our fans in the United States and Mexico, in Europe, all around the world, we hope we may be able to see you sometime soon. For now, we're kind of corralled here, but thanks for digging our music, and watch out for the new album coming out on Jump Up Records this summer called Punch Up by the Prizefighters.
De parte de los Prizefighters, queremos decir muchas gracias para ser fans de nuestros y síguenos en Spotify y todos de los lugares en que puede escuchar a música por el internet. Y en el futuro tenemos más música para ustedes. Y muchas gracias para escuchar a nosotros y adiós.
Adiós.